Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
There you are. Good afternoon and welcome to Drive Time right here on Talk. Stand by for 3 powerhouse hours of news, views and topical debate. I'm your host, Kevin O'Sullivan, and I'll be with you all the way to 7 o'clock. Get involved, get on the phone and call me on 03444991000. There's one hell of a lot to talk about today. Or you can WhatsApp voice note me on the same number and I promise to play your message out. It is Friday, May the 14th. Here's what's coming up. Starmer's last stand. His new, desperate attempt to persuade us he's a strong and powerful leader is to release a video attacking the right-wing Unite the Kingdom demonstrators set to gather in huge numbers in London tomorrow. As he battles to save his disintegrating political career, is the Prime Minister deliberately trying to stir up tensions and cause a fight so he can act tough afterwards, like he did following the Southport riots? Let's hope he's not that craven, but would you put it past him? Not sure I would. 0344 499 1000. If that is the truth, he's crossed the line. He seriously has. We expect down market behaviour from politicians, but if that's his reasoning here, that is extraordinary. In other news, what really are wannabe Prime Minister's Andy Burnham's chances of winning the Makerfield by-election and waltzing into Westminster? In a bid to find out, I'll talk to a son of that fine constituency, a man born and bred there, who knows the place and knows the people. Entitled Burnham styles himself as the King of the North, but will he be crowned the King of Makerfield? Or will Reform UK, which swept the board there at last week's local elections, kick his presumptuous backside? What do you think? 0344 499 1000. Mind you, can tell he's serious, old Andy Burnham, about this. He's being filmed jogging. All politicians, when they want to win an election, they get filmed jogging. Don't know why they think that makes them look so great, but Andy, everywhere you look now, he's jogging, being filmed jogging. So vote for the jogger. He must be a good politician. He's jogging. That's Andy Burnham. But will he be jogging straight to oblivion? That is the question. 0344 499 1000. Meanwhile, back to the Westminster Follies, and Angela Rayner is under growing pressure to prove she has been, as she optimistically puts it, cleared by HMRC for failing to pay 40,000 quid's worth of stamp duty on her swish new second home by the seaside in Upmarket Hove. She seems to think that all she has to do is say so and we'll all believe her. Well, call me cynical, but I've got my doubts. Do you? Where's the proof, Angela? Show us the proof. 0344 499 1000. Also, on today's action-packed show, back with tomorrow's duelling demos as the right-wing Unite the Kingdom crowd and the pro-Palestine Nakba mob prepare to stage their mass protest. 4,000 coppers will be on hand as London turns into a seething tinderbox. But will these cops deliver fair and balanced justice, or will there be more woke two-tier policing going tough on the righties but easy on the lefties? There's already signs of that, I'm afraid. 0344 499 1000. Plus, the new minister in charge of women's safety who voted against the rape gang inquiry. I'll talk to a rape gang victim to get her verdict on Natalie Fleet, Labour's replacement for departing Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips. Also, rising fury among the Jewish community over Prince Harry's schoolboy essay on the evils of anti-Semitism in the New Statesman magazine, pointing the finger at Israel's invasion of Gaza as if Netanyahu sent in the troops for the hell of it, and outrageously failing to mention October the 7th or Hamas. Is the dim Duke out of his depth on this issue? I think so. What do you think? 0344 499 1000. And finally, is the UK Song for Europe by some geek called Look Mum No Computer our worst ever Eurovision disaster? A dork who can't sing, singing a terrible song in German. Great idea. As he faces certain doom at tomorrow's Austria finals, suggested new names for this bozo. Look Mum No Talent. Look Mum No Chance. Look Mum No Points. Has the UK just given up trying? 0344 499 1000. All that and so much more, so don't go anywhere. Stick with me right here, right now on Talk, the home of free speech and common sense. Let's spend Friday afternoon together. Lot to get through. Let's go straight over to Isabel Oakeshott, Talk's international editor. Welcome, Isabel. Thanks for joining us. Before we get started, I want you to watch this video. This is what the Prime Minister has released in the last hour or so, couple of hours. I think it's extraordinary. I think it's absolutely extraordinary. Watch this.
Tomorrow's march in London is a reminder of what we're up against in the battle of our values. The organisers, including convicted thugs and racists, are peddling hatred and division. Plain and simple. Their goal is to convince people that Britain's problems are caused by those living alongside them. But that is not the Britain that I know. This is a country built on decency, fairness and respect. A country that is at its best when people from different backgrounds come together in common purpose. This is our country, with a majority who share those values, a majority who may not always be as loud, but must always define who we are. So, my government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest. But we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Isabel, Peter Bleksley, the former Met Police detective, was on Talk earlier today, and he just said it. He voiced what I suspect, or I think many people suspected. He said Keir Starmer wants a fight, and then he wants to show how tough he is, just like he did after the Southport riots. He seems to feel that when he was sending pretty much innocent people for posting hurty words on Facebook to jail for 3 years, which effectively he did, that was his finest hour. Peter Bleksley and many others feel that this Prime Minister, this craven Prime Minister, is trying to recreate the magic of his finest hour and somehow save his own sorry backside. I mean, if that is the case, I mean, go, Starmer, just go now. This is revolting. What does he think he's doing?
I thought I couldn't despise the man anymore, but that really makes my blood boil, that video. Because a lot of the people that are planning to attend this march, I don't know anyone who's going on it, but from what I've seen, a lot of them are just ordinary, patriotic British citizens. I've certainly seen online people saying that they are nothing to do with Tommy Robinson. They would never back Tommy Robinson, but they are going along to just demonstrate their love of our country and their I suppose to just put down a marker, send a message to those politicians at Westminster that there's nothing to be ashamed of about being British, about flying our flag. And it seems that before there's any trouble whatsoever and anybody has stepped an inch out of line, Keir Starmer is trying to whip up a problem. He is actually being divisive, just as he was, by the way, the other day, when to mark that anniversary, he put out a video talking about, hatred and division. I'm trying to remember which anniversary it was. It's been a long week, Kev, but do you remember put out that was it St George's Day?
I believe it was. And look, there are two demonstrations. It's a day of dueling demos in London tomorrow. It will, as I just said, be a seething tinderbox of tension, because there's this organised Nakba, the pro-Palestine demonstration, will be unfolding not far from Tommy Robinson's Unite. Let's not call it Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally, because just like the one in the summer, hundreds of thousands of people went, and only a small percentage of them were Tommy Robinson types. There's lots of other people there, and I think it'll be the same. The most stirring thing about them is you get, literally tens of thousands of Union Jacks flying in the air. Tommy Robinson, to his credit, has called for total peace. He said, I don't want anyone fighting. I don't want any trouble, because that's what they want. And he's right. He's right. Yeah. That clearly is what Starmer wants. This is disgraceful. This is irresponsible. And of course, what he's trying to do with that pathetic video is look, like a prime minister, to show what a leader he is in these turbulent times. It's the last desperate roll of the dice by a man who is finished. And he miscalculates. It's another indication, one would say proof, of the fact this man, Keir Starmer, does not understand the people of this country. Yeah. Whatever you think about Tommy Robinson, some of the values and some of the principles that he stands for are supported by millions and millions of decent people, and yet Keir Starmer wants to dismiss all of those people, decent people, law-abiding people, as far-right thugs. This is so divisive, what Starmer is doing here.
It really is. And here's the thing, there he was standing on his soapbox shouting, our country belongs to all of us. Well, here's the problem, Keir Starmer. Our country should not belong to illegal immigrants. And that is why so many people will take part in this demonstration tomorrow. Our country does not belong to everybody who has broken into it and now is given preferential treatment for housing, for the NHS, for a bunch of other privileges that hardworking people struggle to be able to afford. Our country does not belong to all those people. And until Keir Starmer recognises the depth of anger about that, about the way that this Labour government, and frankly the Tory government that preceded it, approaches the enormous number of illegal immigrants with a kid gloves and a red carpet in the case of those that come over by boat, until he understands that, he and his party are going to go on losing votes and losing seats.
Yeah, exactly, Isabel. Now, what I would also like to see, if he must make that speech, that video, why is he not referring to the other massive demonstration in London tomorrow, the one by the pro-Palestine mob? Why doesn't he say, I don't want to hear any illegal genocidal chants calling for... Why isn't he not mentioning them? I mean, it's as if that's not happening. This is two-tier Keir in all his lack of glory, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and it will backfire, and it will be fascinating to see how it plays out tomorrow. But speeches like that are the precise opposite of what he should be doing if he wants to make our country less angry and divided. But this guy doesn't get it. Each and every time he gets it wrong, he doesn't read the room, and he uses precisely the opposite rhetoric that he could have chosen in order to demonstrate that he understands why people are coming out on these marches in the first place.
I'll tell you, this is the final nail in his coffin. He just does not understand the people of Britain. He has no idea. He's so out of touch, it hurts. It really does. Let's quickly move on to Andy Burnham, who is now standing to be the next MP in the constituency of Makerfield up in the north. That constituency currently is represented by Josh Simons, the disgraced Labour MP, who has a very slender majority, or a relatively slender majority of 5 1,399, I think it is. Eminently winnable by Reform UK, especially since at the recent last week's local elections, the local council there, Reform won 23 of the 25 seats. So good luck with winning that, Andy. Now, you sent your team up to that constituency to canvass the local population. Let's take a look.
What do you reckon about the mayor of where he's from? No?
You don't want to know.
Go on. Andy Burnham, do you think he's going to be welcome round there? No? No? Fair enough. Down south they call him the King of the North, but he's not, is he?
No. Not my king.
Do you think Andy Burnham's going to be welcome round there?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, do you not think it favour reform?
Oh, it's going that way, isn't it? A lot of people.
In this constituency, do you think?
Yeah.
Who would you vote for?
Reform.
Yeah, why is that?
Just the immigration policies and everything, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I'm just wondering if you think Andy Burnham is welcome round there.
I haven't got a clue who he is.
He's the mayor of Manchester.
Still don't know. I don't see him vote there.
Reform or Labour?
The world, get on.
Reform or Labour?
Listen, get on immigrants and we'll start voting.
Was your favour? Oh yeah? What's made you change your mind?
Well, Mr. Starmer, really.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why? Just his performance or?
Yeah. I think he's let us down.
So who do you think you'll be voting for in the by-election?
I'm not allowed to bother.
I've always thought that all the load you all promised this, all of them promised this, promised that.
Yeah.
So, although I voted Labour, could do something about the immigrants, to be honest. You know, there's quite a lot are here, thousands. And we're only a small country, so it doesn't fit well with me. Sorry.
What are you voting for in the by-election round there?
Nothing for that. He speaks his mind, doesn't he? Or does he waste your time, Labour?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not keen on the guy who's in at the moment. Starmer. No, I'm not keen on him.
Serious indications there, Isabel, that Makerfield, the people of Makerfield, there's two things that is emerging from that fine constituency. One, there's a lot of support for Reform UK, as indicated by last Thursday's local elections. And two, they're proud Northerners. They're good people who do not like being taken for granted. They do not like being a chess piece in Andy Burnham, the King of the North's game. I think he's in big trouble there.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about this constituency, but we've spent the whole day there and we were not looking for a particular answer. You know, this wasn't an exercise in trying to find people to say that Andy Burnham's a bad guy or they're definitely going to vote Reform. And I have to say, I'm really quite taken aback by how hard it was to find anyone that said they were going to vote for Andy Burnham. Of course, it is just a snapshot that we did there. It's not some kind of proper poll. It's just what we call a vox pop, just stopping people on the street. But we roamed quite far and wide around the constituency. And look, I think he might have made a massive miscalculation here. You know, from just based on today, I'm not thinking Reform is just going to win this. I think they might win it really quite well. Now, you know, a lot can change over the course of a campaign, but it's very clear in that constituency that they are extremely concerned by illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And also just how tough that constituency is. That is a deprived area. It won't come as news to anyone who's familiar with those towns in that part of the world. You know, we had an exchange, quite a sort of disturbing or unsettling exchange. A lovely girl, don't know how old she was, perhaps 20. She didn't really, British girl, she didn't really know what voting was or how you vote. And I just thought, what a damning indictment on our education system, on the opportunities that people have. She was saying, how do I vote? I'm not making this up. You know, we've chosen not to use this footage, even though she was actually quite eager to talk to Christian, who was doing those.
It's Christian Drogan, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we just thought maybe it's not too fair. You know, she was just sweetly ignorant whilst being perfectly articulate, just had no idea.
Right.
So this is a whole world away from Keir Starmer land, from the metropolitan elite, and indeed from, you know, the cosy political circles of Westminster. And I think Andy Burnham could be in for quite a shock.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to talk to a man who's from Makerfield next, Pete Barnes. He's going to tell us all about it. So, yes, I think Mr. Burnham may have miscalculated. But if he does, you know, so then Labour might lose the Manchester mayoralty as well. Reform UK will fancy their chances of taking over as mayor of Manchester. They lose Makerfield, so it'd be like one of those movies, you know, with comedy films with Andy Burnham disappearing into the distance with the music going wah 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 wah, and that'll be the end of him, the King of the North, not the king of anything. Will he be the King of Makerfield? Doesn't look like it. Thank you very much, Isabel. Really good to have you on the show. That was Isabel Oakeshott, Talks International editor. Next up, as I say, it's our very own Pete Barnes. I said yesterday, let's find somebody from Makerfield. And subsequently, I found out Pete Barnes is from Makerfield. And he's done, well, he's the man to talk to. He knows the place, he knows the people. Let's get his verdict on Andy Burnham's chances. That next. Stay tuned.
Wondering to see
the Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
I'm Mark Dolan. Join me every weekend from 6 a.m. for the stories that matter to you. We talk politics, we talk news, we talk entertainment, we talk about everything that affects your life. There's only one place to start your weekend, the home of common sense. Talk Breakfast on Talk. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On YouTube. On your mobile. And on your side. This is Talk.
You saw the video earlier with Keir Starmer attacking the far right, the thugs, the criminals who will march in London tomorrow for the Unite the Kingdom rally. A lot of people, coppers, saying this guy, ex-copper, Peter Blexley, and I tend to agree with him. Is Keir Starmer trying to cause a fight? Is he actually trying to stir up tensions, cause a fight, so he can act all leader-like, all powerful afterwards, like he did after Southport? He thinks that was his finest hour. Let me tell you, Keir, it was your worst hour, so I wouldn't recreate it if I were you, but he's such an idiot. He thinks that was a high point in his prime ministerial career. It was actually the beginning of the end, but there you go. Is the Prime Minister trying to stir up a fight tomorrow so he can start sending people to jail? Acting tough. I'm a leader, you see. I am a good Prime Minister. What do you think? 0344 499 1000. Pete Barnes is in the studio. Before I go to Pete, I've got a voice note from Carol on Keir Starmer.
That was nothing short of hate speech by Keir Starmer and inciting violence, in my opinion. I feel like it was a personal attack on me. I'm attending the rally tomorrow, as I did last year, which was perfectly peaceful. We all marched together. It was a fun day. And there were hardly any arrests, and if there were, as far as I'm aware, it was from the other Antifa side. So where he's getting this rhetoric from and why, I do not know. It makes my blood boil.
Well, Carol, I think, expressing the way a lot of people are feeling. She said she said about the Prime Minister that, in her view, that was hate speech and an incitement to violence. Why didn't he mention the Nakba demonstration, the pro-Palestine demonstration? Why didn't he say, look, I don't want these far-right people demonstrate, you know, I'll arrest them if they do anything wrong, but also I don't want the pro-Palestinians chanting about, you know, from the river to the sea and genocidal posters and jihad. Why didn't he mention that? Two-tier Keir, isn't it? 0344 499 1000. As I said, our long search for someone from Makerfield didn't have to go too long. Right here in our midst, our very own Pete Barnes is from Makerfield. Welcome to the studio.
Hi, nice to see you, Kev. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Now, tell us all about Makerfield. Well, first of all, straight question. You know the place like the back of your hand. You grew up there. You're born and bred. You know the people. Your family still live there.
Yep.
What are Andy Burnham's chances at the election?
About an ice cube's chance in hell. Realistically, because what most people do not understand is that Makerfield is not Manchester. And they take great pride in not being Manchester. Most people, when they write their housing address, they still put Lancashire. And it's not been Lancashire since 1983.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is a big thing because we're so far outside of what most people would consider Manchester that realistically, anything that Andy Burnham has done has not touched Makerfield, or it has been kind of delivered half, you know, they've got a little bit of it. So this whole bus thing that he goes on about, this B network, it doesn't actually run as frequently in Makerfield. So he can't run on that. Yeah. You know, it's all this...
This bus fare thing. I mean, it's a bit like Keir Starmer and Breakfast Clubs, isn't it? Will you stop talking about bus fares, Burnham? Because as I said earlier, he's clearly serious about this because he's being filmed jogging. When politicians are filmed jogging, it means they are desperate for power. But that notwithstanding, tell us about Makerfield. What are the people of Makerfield like? What are they solid working class?
Yeah, so it's a real mix, and that's the thing you've got to take away from this. Is it's about 6 kind of narratives in one. It's working class. It's a suburban area. There's a lot of home ownership, skilled.
So middle class as well.
Yeah, I guess it's middle class, upper working class. There's a lot of just general working class people. It's a real mixed bag because it's a little bit rural. It's a little bit industrial.
Yeah, when you said that to me earlier, it's actually you know, you imagine all of these industrial places in the north, but Makerfield is actually quite green.
Yes, it is, yeah.
With small G, folks, small G.
Yeah, small G. Yeah, put it that way. But yeah, so the bit that I'm from a place called Orrell, and that's the one you've really actually got to look at as a kind of weather vane for the area, because it's got a little bit of everything. It's right on the kind of the edge of where it's like about 3 massive farms.
Yeah.
So like the family farms tack is a thing there. There's a farm shop. It's also community based. There's like 12 pubs in walking distance. There's like everybody knows everybody. It is a place that cares about their environment, their town. They actually want to see it do well. And this is the bit that, you know, so many people in Westminster do not understand, is that you can't just parachute somebody in there. You've got to be from there. You've got to understand the people, speak the language. You've got to know where to go on a Saturday night, that kind of place. Yeah. And that's where, you know, where Andy Burnham is not the right fit for this constituency at all.
And also, I would suggest you tell me whether or not I'm on the right track. You know, I got the north sometimes. The north people are very proud people, right? I would suggest that the people, the good people of Makerfield will not, as I said in my monologue earlier, they will not appreciate being treated like a chess piece in Andy Burnham's game. You know, expected to vote for him so he can get to Westminster. This entitled attitude of Burnham, I don't think will go down well in Makerfield.
Not at all, because he'll be chased out with pitchforks if he tries that trick. He really will, because it is a place where we decide what we vote on, not you. Because this is the thing about the Red Wall now. They've realised that a vote is a weapon. Yeah. And people will start to pay attention to you if you start to threaten to do the thing that they don't want. So, you know, it's a real thing we have to learn about the Red Wall, is not all seats are the same. And they've started to learn that, you know, if it went from Labour to Boris back to Labour, that shows that it punishes if you don't pay attention to it.
Now, if I was Reform UK, there's 2 things I would do. One is I would make sure they don't make the mistake that they did in Gorton and Denton and send up some sort of professor from the southern professor, an academic, you know. They need a local person because, of course, Burnham, to be fair, he is from the area, the vague area. He will play the local card, you know. And
they'll point out he's a Scouser.
Yeah. It never goes down well in the Manchester area, does it?
No, not at all.
But to be fair, he's persuaded the Mancunians that he's not a bad guy. But if Reform UK find the right kind of local person, what I would do, what I would say to the electorate there is, OK, if you vote for Andy Burnham, you better enjoy lots and lots of migrants coming into the country. You better like the idea of getting ever closer to Brussels, to the EU, and you better like the idea of crazy Ed Miliband's increasing insanity on the net zero front. I would suggest that the reason that the people of Makerfield, it's one of those situations, isn't it, where the constituency doesn't fit neatly into council boundaries, but the nearest kind of council encompassing Makerfield is sort of Wigan.
It is,
And of that council, of the 25 seats, 23 went to Reform UK. That would indicate that the people, these are people who are sick of the migrant crisis. They're probably Brexiteers.
Oh, yes.
They do not like the betraying of the Brexit vote. They don't want to get closer to Europe. And like everybody else, they don't like paying sky-high energy bills based on idiot, madman, crazy Ed Miliband's insane energy policies.
Yes. This is the perfect constituency for Reform UK. It genuinely is. And, you know, I'm not their biggest fan, but the one thing I will say, they have got a fantastic ground game. They've got people in that area that know what they're doing, because you go back to 2024, at that general election, when, you know, Reform wasn't even a thing properly, 39% of the vote. They really know what they're doing. This is a place that Reform could do very well in.
So, yeah, just to sort of probably repeat myself, but you know, Andy Burnham trying to sell the people of Makerfield the policies of Labour. We will get closer to Europe. We will double down on net zero, and we will go very soft on the migrants. The migrant crisis will continue. Him trying to sell those 3 policies to the people of Makerfield is going to go down like a cup of cold sick.
Pretty much, yes. 100%, because the one thing that the people of Makerfield don't like is they don't like a scrounger. They want people. They take great pride in going to work.
They're workers, yeah.
Workers. You're providing. They want a fair shot. They don't want a handout. That's the one thing.
You said earlier that they're quite a kind of senior population.
It is, yeah. It is generally quite an older place. I mean, I look like this and I'm 35,
yeah.
So yeah, it ages
Blimey.
you that place. But that adds to an extra element of this, that it actually is. It's GP appointments. It is health and old age care and things like that are a big factor. And also because it is a high home ownership, things like crime and antisocial behaviour are very high up on the agenda because people come into the area because it's where a lot of people live.
We're going to go to break in a minute. You're going to stay with us, by the way. To sum up, then, Andy Burnham, in your view, is screwed there.
Yes, without a doubt. But what it shows is that there is no safe Labour seat. If they can't take Makerfield, there's no safe Labour seat in the country.
Fantastic. OK, listen, we're going to go to break. Pete's going to stay with us because we need to talk about Angela Rayner. Who, seemed to think yesterday when she, I've been cleared by HMRC, everything's all right, I can be the Prime Minister now, I can be a Cabinet Secretary again, that's all over. Well, we don't think it is. You can't just say it, you've got to prove it. You're going to have to publish, Angela, your HMRC vindication, as you call it. I don't think you were vindicated. You had to pay your £40,000 stamp duty bill, that's for damn sure. A lot of tax experts say there must have been a fine involved, maybe as much as £8,000. But HMRC won't let you just get away with that. That's what people are saying. So somehow or other, we think, or do you think, let me know what you think, shouldn't she publish HMRC's alleged exoneration of her? 03444991000. We'll talk about Big Ange next.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Big story of the day is Keir Starmer's video. Is he trying to stir up trouble at the big Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow in London? It looks like it. First of all, let's listen to a quick voice note from Mark on Keir Starmer.
Can I just say, what would Starmer been like in the First and Second World Wars? Could you imagine the Germans invading Britain and he turns around to the British and says, if any of you British was to call the Germans Nazis, he would lock the British up. Absolute disgrace. I'll tell you what, the sooner that he's out of power, the better. Get anyone in. Get Burnham. Get Rayner. Get Miliband. Get Street in. My goodness. Grab Gordon Brown and let him have another go. I'd rather him than have Starmer in. Absolute joke.
I think we are at that point now, aren't we? Anyone but Starmer. I think that's where I stand. All these people say, oh, you could do worse than Starmer. I don't really care anymore. I just think he has to go. Right, let's have a quick look at the video that our Prime Minister has made. And you decide. You tell me what you think. Is this guy trying to deliberately stir up trouble tomorrow? He didn't have to make this video. He didn't have to stir up the hornet's nest. Instead, he's attacking the far-right thugs, the convicted criminals and all this, you know, and I will come down on them like a stack of bricks, etc., etc. You know, there hasn't been any trouble. Tommy Robinson is only one element of the Unite the Kingdom rally, by the way. He's not all of it. He has, to his credit, called for peace. Don't give them what they want. Don't fight. Is the Prime Minister trying to thwart that, cause trouble, and therefore be able to stand up afterwards and start throwing people in prison like he did after the Southport riots? And in his mind, that will make him look like a strong and powerful leader. Is that what he's trying to do? Have a look at the video.
My government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
You won't tolerate it. Who do you think you are? How about the hatred that will be there in spades at the Nakba demonstration, the pro-Palestine march tomorrow? There'll be a hell of a lot of hatred there towards Israel and Jews. Trust me, there'll be illegal chanting there. Why doesn't the Prime Minister mention that? Why is he only concentrating on, in his mind, the far-right thugs? Why is he doing that? Why? It's two-tier Keir in all his lack of glory, isn't it? 0344 499 1000. Let's talk about this. Now, Pete, thanks for staying on. We're going to talk about Angela Rayner now. And, you know, yesterday she triumphed. Oh, I'm cleared. I've been cleared by HMRC. You know, this is on her down-to-earth working-class second home in upmarket Hove, her £800,000 flat overlooking the English Channel. She see the migrants coming over that her government keep letting in, can't she? Well, she didn't pay the stamp duty on that, £40,000. She said that was an honest mistake, and you know she didn't do anything wrong. And HMRC have now, in her words, cleared her. She wouldn't have been cleared. She'd have had to. She's had to settle up.
Yeah.
That isn't clearing.
Not at all.
Now, tax experts say there's no way HMRC will let you get away without paying a fine on that. I know this. I've had my own problems with HMRC. You know, everything comes with a fine. And experts say her fine might have been as much as £8,000. Whatever the situation is, she made a big statement to the nation yesterday, big interview in The Guardian, interview on ITV, saying, I've been clear, that is not a problem anymore. Well, you know, she's got to publish this HMRC verdict, hasn't she?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, because at the end of the day, she still had to pay £40,000 in tax. That means a tax was owed. So I do not understand how there was no deliberate wrongdoing, but she still owed money. I don't. Someone's going to have to explain that to me, and that really.
Well,
comes...
she said she got bad advice, but that isn't the point. In the eyes of the law, certainly in the eyes of HMRC, ignorance is no defence.
No, it's really not.
If you're wrong, you're wrong, and it doesn't matter what the reason is. So that doesn't matter. What she seems to be saying is that the HMRC said, "Oh well, you poor thing. If you didn't know, if you give bad advice, then in that case, just give us the £40,000, and that'll be enough." It's all too murky, and if she believes she's going to progress pretty soon to some great high office of state in the cabinet, maybe even Prime Minister itself, she's going to have to publish what HMRC said about her, isn't she?
Yeah.
Otherwise, that is a roadblock to her.
Yeah, definitely, because she's saying, well, just trust me. Trust the woman who's just had to pay £40,000 back to the taxman. That's not going to sell to the country where you've had the Peter Mandelson scandal and you've all been in Lord Ali's back pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the big problem. It's a kind of another kind of layer onto the hypocrisy of this government and why they don't seem to understand that just because you may have not broken the law, the country doesn't trust you. But if you're going to get the public purse, they need to know that you're not going to have your own fingers in it. This is the big. It's not much to ask. It's not much to ask.
She's telling us everything is fine and dandy. Well, as you said, as you implied there, Pete, when a politician says to you, "Trust me," there's only one response, and that's no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't make you housing minister or home.
I can't make you a minister.
I can't make you a cabinet secretary.
Yeah.
Unless you prove.
Yeah, definitely. It's a massive roadblock. She does the mea culpa, or she's finished.
Yeah.
She spent so long kind of putting together this great personality of girl from Stockport, done good, councillor state, all this kind of stuff, and she's blown that all up. And now she has one choice, and that's it. She doesn't have any other options. There's no way that a new prime minister coming in with this government is going to be able to justify Angela Rayner back in power. It's going to look like a capitulation to the because this problem still exists for whoever is going to be the next prime minister.
Yeah, absolutely. She's at the I left my homework on the bus, the dog ate my homework stage of this. I'm not necessarily saying that she's flat out lying, but she has the machinery to prove she's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And she's going to have to do that. She's going to have to publish the HMRC verdict. As simple as that. Otherwise, she's going to realise, come to realise that this will be a roadblock to any more advance. So, Pete Barnes, political strategist, great to have you in the studio. Son of Makerfield there. Brilliant stuff. Next up, with Mike Neville, former Met Police detective, will join us again. We're going to go back to these two demos in London tomorrow, talk about the policing thereof. That next, stick around.
here on the
Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Let's go straight over to my next guest. He is former Met Police Detective Mike Neville. Hello, Mike. Before you talk, by the way, I forgot, I've got a voice note here because there's a lot of people phoning in and getting in touch about Keir Starmer at the moment. So let's play this voice note from Trevor on Keir Starmer.
Starmer has not got a clue what is going on in his own backyard, mate. All he's concerned about is making himself look like the big I am, and I could do this and I could do that, and drumming up, inciting that everyone that's marching tomorrow, that's proud of their country, is a far-right racist bigot. The worst person is him, mate. He ain't got a clue. He needs to go. Well, he's going to go. It's inevitable. He's gone. He's irrelevant. Tomorrow, everyone will be marching tomorrow, and they're going to be proud to do that for their country.
Yeah, Mike, Trevor there is expressing the feelings of a lot of people, a lot of the audience here. The Prime Minister has just in the last couple of hours released a video about which he stands accused of trying to stir up trouble tomorrow, inciting violence. We think, or we suspect, that he might fancy that so he can act all tough afterwards and seem like a leader. Let me just play you a little bit of the video, get your verdict. This is a tiny bit of the Prime Minister's tub-thumping video earlier.
My government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Now, the hatred there, Mike, that he's talking about is all at the Unite the Kingdom rally, the right-wing rally, if you like, the patriotic rally. I think it's inaccurate to call it Tommy Robinson's rally because, yes, there are Tommy Robinson fans and followers there. They've got every right to be there, by the way. But there are a lot of other people who are there who just are sick of the migrant crisis, sick of Labour, patriotic people who just love their country. So it's not fair to say, as he implies, they're all far-right thugs. That's what he says, they're all convicted criminals, far-right thugs. Disgraceful. The hatred he's talking about, he doesn't refer to the seething cauldron of hatred that will also be at the Nakba pro-Palestine demonstration in London tomorrow. This is two-tier Keir, picking on Unite the Rally, Unite the Nation, but not Unite the Kingdom, sorry, not even mentioning Nakba. Outrageous.
I agree, absolutely, Kevin. And it just, this is going to backfire on him. But you've got to get into Keir Starmer's worldview. This is his worldview, that the people on that rally who fly Union Jack are far-right thugs. This is absolutely what he thinks. And this is what many of the people in the government think. And then when you look at that rally, there'll be black and Asian people on it. I know a friend of mine who's a black guy, ex-soldier, he'd probably be on it as well. But it's just too easy to condemn them. And what you see as well, the other ridiculous thing I picked up on it is how the police are putting facial recognition technology at one of the sites where the
Unite the Kingdom right
that is there, but they're not putting at the Palestinian one. And
two-tier policing.
how much more evidence you need? Who thought that would be a good idea? You know, we've got the FA Cup tomorrow. Can you imagine if you put facial recognition at the pubs where the Chelsea fans are and not where the Man City fans are? It just looks bad. The whole establishment looks bad on this. It just looks all the time that they're prepared to crack down on ordinary people. We saw it after Southport, the statements he made there, which, you know, almost inflamed the situation. And I think here as well, he's winding people up. It's just not on for the Prime Minister to come out like this on one side. Let him speak about all forms of hatred. And as you say, the real hatred is the anti-Jewish hatred, which will be on display
at the Nakba, right? Now, as a copper, Mike, or as a former copper, if you were involved in the huge police operation tomorrow, 4,000 police will be drafted in to try and deal with this tinderbox. London will be a tinderbox tomorrow. 2 of these massive duelling protests. And by the way, the FA Cup final thrown in for good measure. If you're a copper involved in that operation, would you find the Prime Minister's video that we've been looking at, would you find that helpful, or would you feel that that might be stirring up the kind of tension you'd try to avoid?
It is absolutely stirring it up, and then he includes the police in it as well. So he almost shows that this 2-tier establishment exists because the police briefing was there before us to see in that video. The whole thing is an absolute mess. The police have been dragged into this as well, so everything looks like 2-tier, and you're almost stirring people up before they get there. And the trouble is, I remember when I was in the police, Kevin, when I was a young PC, if there was a riot at Brixton, they would park all the riot vans at Camberwell out of the way, because the moment the riot vans appear, you almost cause what was not going to happen. And what's happening here is he's almost stirring up the trouble, and so he'll get what he wants. And as you say, then he can crack down, lock up a few Lucy Connollys who put on abusive or nasty sort of.
That's what I think he wants to do. I just want a quick last thing. We've got to go in a second, but what I fear, or what a cynic might conclude, is the reason they're putting facial recognition cameras onto the right-wingers, onto Unite the Kingdom, is so they can get a few faces in the can and then prosecute them afterwards, so he can act tough like he did after the Southport riots.
Absolutely, and we're supposed to have an independent judiciary. So when it was after Southport, you got the Prime Minister saying slam all these people away. That is not the way it's supposed to work. Judges and magistrates are supposed to make decisions based on evidence and what people have done, not on what the government decides is the punishment today. And as you say, this is an utter mess. The establishment knows. So it's almost like the Prime Minister's in his death throes of his career, and he's determined to go out with a bang.
Yeah, I think he's stirring up trouble. A couple of people who are going to the demo tomorrow, at the Unite the Kingdom rally, just say, as far as they're concerned, the Prime Minister's video is an incitement to violence. I think that is a fair conclusion to reach. What on earth does he think he's doing? Mike, I've got to go, but thank you so much. Excellent to talk to you as always. Mike Neville there, former Met Police detective. When we come back after the news at the top of the hour, at 5 o'clock, it's Carl Turner, the outspoken... Sarah Poachin. We've got Carl Turner later. Reform UK, Sarah Poachin next. Stay tuned.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
In a little while, I'm going to be talking to a survivor, a rape gang victim. Get her take on the fact that the new safeguarding minister in charge of the safety of women, someone called Natalie Fleet, who's taking over from Jess Phillips, voted against us having a rape gang inquiry. Doesn't sound like she's that interested in women's welfare, does it? We'll get that verdict a little later. But first, I'm very pleased to welcome back to the show the excellent Reform UK MP for Runcorn and Helsby, Sarah Pochin. Hi, Sarah.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to have you back on the show. I want you to watch this. It goes on a bit, but it is the big story of the day. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, released this video a couple of hours ago. Let's play it, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Tomorrow's march in London is a reminder of what we're up against in the battle of our values. The organisers, including convicted thugs and racists, are peddling hatred and division, plain and simple. Their goal is to convince people that Britain's problems are caused by those living alongside them. But that is not the Britain that I know. This is a country built on decency, fairness and respect. A country that is at its best when people from different backgrounds come together in common purpose. This is our country, with a majority who share those values, a majority who may not always be as loud, but must always define who we are. So, my government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Now, Sarah, my audience, my switchboard is jammed with texts, phone calls, voice notes from people who are furious, who are going to attend that rally. It's a misnomer, it's a misrepresentation to say that is a Tommy Robinson rally. He will be there, his supporters will be there. They've got every right to be there. But there'll be many, many thousands of people who are purely law-abiding, decent British patriots who don't like the migrant crisis, who don't want to get closer to Europe, and who are sick to death of Labour's net zero tyranny. That's what that demonstration's about. And my audience, the people, they're furious. They say this guy, this is an incitement to violence. He is trying to cause trouble and tension tomorrow so that afterwards he can look tough and start sending people to prison like he did after the Southport riots. I think this, arguably, is this Prime Minister's lowest point. This is a disgrace, I fear.
Well, when I saw that video earlier today, I was absolutely enraged. Do you know how I felt? I thought, how dare he call British patriots that just want to be able to be allowed to be proud to be British. How dare he call us racist? How dare he incite violence against us, which is what he's done by using vocabulary like thugs and racist and hard right, far right. You know, I mean, it's an absolute betrayal of core British people that want to go to London and probably have demonstrations, marches elsewhere in the country tomorrow, fly their flags. And if you remember last year, I think out of the hundreds of thousands of people that were there, there was something ridiculous like 14 arrests or something.
That's right.
It's a peaceful demonstration by the British people who have had enough of 800 people coming in a day illegally into this country that do not share our culture, that do not share our values, that have a medieval view of women and think they are entitled to prey upon women in areas like mine of Runcorn and Helsby. It's happening everywhere.
Sarah, also tomorrow, I'm going to go and have a look at both demonstrations myself tomorrow. And on the other side of town, not far away from the Unite the Kingdom rally, will be the Nakba rally, which is a pro-Palestinian protest. That's going to be huge as well. That will be a seething cauldron of hatred towards Israel and Jews. So when the Prime Minister mentioned all the hatred, we will not tolerate hatred, why didn't he mention the pro-Palestine march? This is two-tier Keir, isn't it?
I was just about to say, what an example of two-tier policing, because I'm sure you've mentioned it earlier today in the fact that there is facial recognition apparently now being used by the police at the Unite the Kingdom march, a peaceful march, and yet not being used at the Palestine march, the pro-Palestine march. Why is that? That is Keir Starmer yet again, and Sadiq Khan, of course, in cahoots, two-tier policing by the Metropolitan Police. Well, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Exactly right. The point about this video is he didn't have to make it. He didn't have to do that. Now, if I was a copper, one of the 4,000 coppers involved in policing both demonstrations, London tomorrow is going to be a tinderbox. It's going to be a very difficult policing job. I would not appreciate what the Prime Minister has just done. Peter Blexley, the former Met Police detective, was on Talk earlier. He said, he came right out and said what we all suspect. He said the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, wants a fight. He wants a fight so he can look tough afterwards, start sending people to prison like he did after the Southport riots. He seems to think that was his finest hour. I've got bad news for him. It wasn't. But he seems to feel he wants to recreate the magic of the post-Southport riot situation. It's extraordinary. I mean, he's desperate to save his own job. I think in this circumstance, he feels that he can look powerful and leader-like, you know, the big Prime Minister who's going to save us from our, you know, terrible disruption tomorrow. You know, this is a really, really pathetically desperate roll of the dice by a man who doesn't seem to quite realise he's finished, because he is finished, isn't he?
But not only that, look, he's felt the need to put that out. He's done it for his own, like you say, his own career. He's trying to save his career. But in fact, what he's done is completely upset all of what used to be core Labour voters, working Britain, you know, alarm clock Britain, as we call them in Reform. He's just completely disassociated all of those voters now with him, if he hadn't have done so already, by calling people like that racist, by calling them thugs. And yet, Tommy Robinson put out a video calling for peace tomorrow, calling for a peaceful demonstration, a repeat of last year where there was no trouble whatsoever caused by any of those marches, bar the very, very small number of arrests that were made. And yet the Prime Minister is effectively put a video out inciting violence. What kind of message is that? It's an absolute disgrace. And I know that those people on that march tomorrow will not go there to be violent. They want to go there and proudly fly their flag, and they want to say they've had enough of the invasion of illegal fighting age men into this country. They've had enough of it, of the benefit system. They've had enough of it not paying to go out to work, etc., etc., etc. And yet the Prime Minister comes in and puts a video out that is inciting them to violence, that is trying to push them into violence. And I am worried about London tomorrow, because we have got that Palestinian march full of people that hate our culture, that want to see the destruction of the West, that want to take over the West. And also, on top of that, just to throw it into the mix, I think we've got the FA Cup final.
Yeah, we have. It's
being played.
London will be interesting tomorrow at the very least. But as I say, in that video, if he must make that video, I think it's best, if he really was interested in peace and harmony tomorrow, he wouldn't have said anything. But he's not. As Peter Blexley said, looks like he's looking. He wants a fight so he can look tough afterwards. But if he was going to make that video, he should have mentioned the other demo as well, where I'll tell you, Sarah, there will be a hell of a lot more hatred than there is at the Unite the Rally march.
And just one more thing, he talks about the fact that he's, so bravely banned. He's been so strong, hasn't he, in banning certain far-right speakers, as he calls them. And yet, this is a government we are still waiting to prescribe the Muslim Brotherhood. We're still waiting to prescribe the IRGCG.
Yeah.
You name it, he has not done that yet. These are radical Islamic extremists. Has he prescribed them? No.
No, exactly. Very good point. Yeah, he's making a big point. Oh, yes, we've banned all these 11 foreign agitators, as he calls them. So he's still a great supporter of freedom of speech. So let's just leave that there, though, because I need to talk to you about Makerfield, of course. And breaking news, you'll be thrilled to hear this. Literally, this is breaking news about 2 minutes ago. You'll love this, Sarah. Labour's ruling body, the National Executive Committee, has given the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, permission to stand in the candidate selection process for the upcoming Makerfield by-election. That's official, so he will be standing in Makerfield now. Now, let's talk about this because I think Reform UK, as Nigel Farage says, they're going to fight this for all they're worth. They're going to send all their tanks up there. I think Reform UK can win this, can't they?
Well, look, unlike the Labour government, this Prime Minister, we do not take anyone for granted. We do not take anything for granted, and we certainly don't take the British voters for granted. Yes, of course, we're gonna go and fight this. I will be up there, I'm sure, at least once or twice a week now. Bring it on. I mean, I actually thought the NEC wasn't going to announce until Tuesday, so they're moving very quickly, which is good. I would imagine it will be a very short by-election, similar to Gorton and Denton. 23 days. I think this one could be as short as 23 days. So absolutely bring it on. We will field the most excellent candidate and we will give it everything we've got. It's a two-horse race. It's between Labour and Reform. No other party will feature particularly in this. And if you look at the results of the 2024 election, Reform were less than 6,000 votes behind Labour. I think they got about 18,000, Reform over 12,000. So there's really not much in it when you think about how unpopular this current Labour government is.
There's more to say about that, Sarah, because at the local elections last Thursday, it's one of those kind of geographically confusing setups where the Makerfield constituency doesn't fit nicely into a council area, but the relevant seats in the Makerfield area, which I think are to do with Wigan Council.
That's right.
Of those seats, 25 seats, 23 went to Reform UK. If you look at the ward map of Makerfield, it's all turquoise. Also, the departing scandal-hit MP, the current MP, Josh Simons, who's leaving in disgrace, by the way, his majority at the last election was 5,399. That's not much of a majority. You look at the local elections, look at that slender majority. If I was a betting man, I'd put my house on Reform UK beating Andy Burnham, wouldn't you?
Well, absolutely. Well, look, no, as I said, we don't take anything for granted. I won't be placing a bet myself. But look, here in Runcorn and Helsby, a very similar constituency in terms of the voters. And look, we overturned a 15,000 majority here when I got in a year ago. Since then, we've gone from strength to strength in the Northwest, as demonstrated by these recent local elections. And yes, we did extremely well up there in Wigan. And we're very, very proud of the work that our local councillors did up there to secure that result. So, of course, we're going to throw everything at it. Bring it on. We are not afraid of Andy Burnham. It's going to be a very, very exciting 3 or 4 weeks.
Now, far be it from me to do your job or Nigel Farage's job, but I don't know if you've decided on a candidate yet, but might I suggest that Andy Burnham is going to play the local man card like there's no tomorrow. You need to get someone local, don't you?
Well, look, yes, I'm sure he will. But the fact is, he's almost prostituted himself around the Northwest, hasn't he? He would have gone for Bootle. He would have gone for Rusholme in Manchester. Yeah. You know, we had no idea, but he would have taken whatever he could get his hands on. That shows no loyalty whatsoever or real desire to win this particular seat. The people of Makerfield are under no illusion that he is using them as a stepping stone into what he thinks is his pathway to number 10. So it'll be very interesting how they vote and how they feel about the fact that to Andy Burnham, they are just, like I say, a stepping stone into Downing Street.
This is what the people of Makerfield, I've got a lot of calls, a lot of messages from people in that area. This is what they can't stand. I mean, there are two things they can't stand. Good luck to Andy Burnham going around the people of Makerfield saying, yeah, vote for me and then we'll get closer to Europe and we'll let more migrants in and we'll keep that net zero nonsense going so your energy bills will keep on rising. Good luck to Andy fighting those corners. But what they really hate, Sarah, is being taken for granted. Oh, this the King of the North is coming in. You're expected to vote for him because he needs to get to Westminster to get rid of Keir Starmer. They don't like that. They don't like being treated like a chess piece in Andy Burnham's game. Andy Burnham is coming across as a presumptuous, entitled political bigwig who is taking the people of Makerfield for granted. They hate that.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, as I said, it's a similar makeup to the people here in Runcorn and Helsby, particularly in Runcorn. I get the message on the doorstep that they have been forgotten by Labour, they were taken for granted by Labour, and that Labour has actually done nothing for them to improve their lives on a day-to-day basis. And that's going to be exactly the same message that the voters give over there in Makerfield. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Andy Burnham gets a bit of a shock and loses his crown, let's put it that way, as King of the North.
What is it? Decrowned, uncrowned King of the North. Dethroned. That's it. That's why you get the big bucks, Sarah. Seriously, what about last point though? What about the mayoralty of Manchester? I mean, when you have to give that up, if he has to give that up, suppose he. Does he have to give it up to fight the seat? I don't think he does. But if he, to fight this, apparently he does have to give up being the mayor. Now, Reform UK are going to fancy their chances of taking the mayoralty of Manchester, aren't they?
Yeah, well, of course, you know, everything is up for grabs. As I say, there's not a single seat safe, I don't think, from Reform at the moment in terms of a parliamentary seat. And I would say the same is true of a mayoral seat. You know, the fact is that the British people, look, you know, how often can we say it? They want to be proud to be British. They are fed up of being told that they shouldn't be, they have to apologise for being white, or they have to apologise for, you know, our history, or they have to not fly that flag, or they're fed up of two-tier justice. They are, I'll tell you what, they're very fed up up here in the north around Greater Manchester, is complete inactivity by successive governments on tackling the grooming gangs, which is still ongoing and which neither of this government or the last government have done anything about clamping down on. They're fed up with all of this. These are the heartlands. This is ground zero, this territory for grooming gangs, and nothing has been done about it. So yes, everything is up for grabs when it comes to reform, because people like me speak very loudly and plainly and clearly and say that when Reform are in power, and we very much hope that obviously we do get power in the next general election, we will not hide behind that card of fear of being called racist. No, we will call out these grooming gangs and we will tackle them.
Sarah, I missed you. Don't leave it so long. Come on the show again very, very soon. Great to have you on, and good luck in Makerfield. Sarah Poshin, Reform UK MP for Runcorn and Helsby. On good form there, I would suggest. Right, let's go to break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to my friend Ellie Reynolds. She is a victim of the rape gang scourge, the scandal of the rape gangs. And I want to get her verdict on the new minister in charge of women's safety, safeguarding minister. She's taken over from Jess Phillips, who resigned in high dudgeon over Keir Starmer. Credit to her for that, I suppose. Her name is Natalie Fleet, and she voted against the rape gang inquiry. So does that make her qualified? Does she really care about the welfare of women if she voted against a rape gang inquiry? A lot of people don't think so. We will get to Ellie's verdict next. Stay tuned.
The Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
I'm Mark Dolan. Join me every weekend from 6 a.m. for the stories that matter to you. We talk politics, we talk news, we talk entertainment, we talk about everything that affects your life. There's only one place to start your weekend, the home of common sense, Talk Breakfast on Talk. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Friday, Saturday and Sunday here on the home of common sense.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Let's go straight over to my next guest. She is a grooming gang, rape gang survivor, Ellie Reynolds. Welcome, Ellie.
Hi, are you all right?
I'm good. Now, I want to talk about, now you had your problems with Jess Phillips, the former safeguarding minister. You didn't feel that she had your welfare at heart. And in fact, you quit the rape gang inquiry because you didn't feel that that was actually going in the right direction for the victims. Jess Phillips has quit and been replaced by the new Labour Minister for Safeguarding for the Welfare of Women, and her name is Natalie Fleet. We've reached out to her here at Talk and we've asked her, why, if you're the Minister in charge of the welfare and the safety of women, why did you vote against having a rape gang inquiry at all? doesn't seem to be much of an indication that you care about the welfare of women or the safety of women. She hasn't replied. But what do you think about that, Ellie? Would you say that from Jess Phillips to Natalie Fleet, you've gone from bad to worse?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, they're not putting anybody in that has the children of this country's best interest at heart, are they? I wouldn't say I had a problem with Jess Phillips. I'd say that she just didn't like the fact that I told the truth and she couldn't cover it where I was concerned. Natalie Fleet voting against inquiry anyway is telling you everything you need to know. This is a woman that we are now meant to trust with our children, our future grandchildren. Everything about our future is gone to rubbish, to be honest. Especially with somebody like I noticed the other day that somebody said, I think she said, oh, I have big shoes to fill. Are the shoes in the room with us? No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, this whole Labour Party, you know, I mean, the safety of women should not be a party political issue, but it is. You know, you've got a Prime Minister who, when it came to appointing our ambassador to the United States of America, he decided to appoint Peter Mandelson, who was the best friend of the world's most notorious paedophile and trafficker of young, vulnerable women, Jeffrey Epstein. So the Prime Minister doesn't seem like he gives a damn. Do you get the feeling that this Labour lot, that the political class, if you like, don't really care about people like you?
I mean, exactly what you've just said. Look at the people that Keir Starmer is associated with. I think rape gang situations and victims and vulnerable people of our country should never, ever be in a political football battle. But Labour have made it like that because we've lived on false promises for decades now.
Yeah. And tell me this, just I know I ask you this every time you come on, but you have to put the viewers in the picture. Just briefly, tell us your story of being a victim of the rape gang inquiry. You're from Barrow-in-Furness, aren't you? What happened to you?
So I was subject to a rape gang from 2013 until 2018. I was kidnapped, held hostage for days at a time. My case has just been reopened, and there's a bit of a documentary coming out soon where people will be able to dive right into my story.
Okay, good. And when you were invited into the to be a part of the rape gang inquiry, by the way, the rape gang inquiry that the Labour government were very reluctant to hold, because at first they said, "Oh, we don't need a national inquiry." Why not? There were 250,000 victims of the rape gang scourge all over the country. They said we don't need a national one, we could do a few local ones. That was Jess Phillips's line, I do believe. But anyway, eventually, kicking and screaming, this government, Keir Starmer, did call a national rape gang inquiry. Hasn't started yet. God knows when it finally will start, but it is going to happen. You agreed to become a part of what they call the victims panel.
Yeah.
And you are one of, I think, 3 or was it 4 victims who have subsequently quit because you're not happy about that inquiry at all. They're patronising you again, aren't they?
That inquiry was never set up to succeed. There's a reason that the whole Labour lot kicking the inquiry to the curb, and I strongly, strongly believe, and it's just my opinion, but if a full inquiry was done properly, it would be holding them to account on a lot more things than people are aware of.
Yeah, but well, yes, indeed. I mean, when is this thing going to start? Do you have any idea? The rape gang inquiry.
I have no idea. I did meet with Baroness Anne Longfield. I do have my reservations. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I really, really trust her. I don't.
She's the chairwoman, all right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're just dragging their feet, to be honest. I think that the more that they can bring other things out that, you know, diverts people's attention, I think what we're going to find is that the inquiry will end up just being lost in the wind and forgotten about.
You mentioned to me before, and this is very important, that one of the things that upset you when you were working with the rape gang inquiry as it was being prepared was that they didn't like you talking about the ethnicity of the men who subjected you to rape and torture. The ethnicity, of course, being Muslim men, mainly of Pakistani origin. They didn't like that. They didn't want you to talk about that. Is that one of the reasons that made you feel that this will not be a proper inquiry?
At the end of the day, the ethnicity goes towards the whole inquiry. It's a big portion of it, really. We need to be able to collect all the data to figure out everything. And it almost made them really uncomfortable every time we mentioned somebody that wasn't white. Now, if somebody's white, they would be mentioned and everybody will sit and talk about it. But the minute that you mention Pakistani, Muslim, it's almost like everybody curls up in the corner of a room. Why?
Would there be any circumstance in which you would agree to get back involved in that? I mean, presumably one of the reasons that might make you more amenable to the inquiry would be is if they agreed to confront the reality of this that you've just been talking. The reality of the rape gang scandal is that most of the perpetrators, most of the rapists, the rape gang members were Pakistani men, or Muslim men of Pakistani origin. And if they're not going to confront that, what is the point?
Exactly, and I think that's a huge issue. I would be willing to figure something out if it was direct, but I do not believe in the government whatsoever. The inquiry last time had Sabah Kaiser on it, and if anybody researches what article she was making not long before, we would be questioning why she was even on that in the first place, because she certainly wasn't for the white girls of this country. I strongly think that it's a big issue, and at the end of the day, if a conversation's making them that uncomfortable, maybe they want to face the reality of what we went through for years as children. Yeah, indeed. I just want to quickly stress that that you just to prove that the victims, 250,000, mostly young, vulnerable white girls, many of them underage. The idea that they all came from sink estates, broken homes, is not true. You came from a very happy home. So, you know, and luckily you're back with your family and everything is cool. So that is another stereotype that we mustn't fall for. And our last question, a happier question. You got married recently because you got a husband now. You got 3 kids, is it? How is married life? Peaceful, actually. I didn't think it was going to be, but here we are.
It's good fun, is it?
It is.
That's good to know, Ellie. Ellie, it's always great to have you on the show. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll talk again soon. That is the brave and wonderful Ellie Reynolds. Natalie Fleet, the new safeguarding minister who voted against having a rape inquiry. We did contact her. We've asked her to come on the show. We've asked her for her comment. There she is. But amazingly, she hasn't responded. Let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to return to Prince Harry's article. I use the word loosely, more like a schoolboy essay, in the New Statesman magazine. It ostensibly rages against the evils of anti-Semitism. So far, so good. It's not a particularly erudite article, to say the least. The Prince, the Dim Duke, now stands accused of underestimating what anti-Semitism is, not understanding it. It really is. This article is just one long showcasing of his own ignorance. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you. And Jewish campaigners are saying, you know, we've got to do something about this. We'll talk about that next. Stay tuned.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Let's go straight over to... Oh, no, let's play a voice note first. We've got loads of voice notes and calls coming in about Keir Starmer's video, which people say is an incitement to violence tomorrow at the Unite the Kingdom rally in London. This is Adam.
What is it with Keir Starmer and playing cringy music because he's trying to be serious? Ooh, we're scared. Yeah. He's got no power. No one's even worried anymore. No one cares what he even thinks or what he says. My message to people is just go to the United Kingdom, behave yourself, don't give him what he wants. But yeah, he's just, the sooner this man has gone, the better. And like when your last caller said, anyone will do it at this moment in time. That's the truth. Cannot stand the bloke.
Yeah, basically he's calling any patriots who go to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow far-right thugs, convicted racists, all this. It's just outrageous. Let's go over to my next guest. He is the Director of Investigations and Enforcement at the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, Stephen Silverman. Welcome, Stephen.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Well, let's talk about Prince Harry's article, I use the term loosely, in the New Statesman magazine. I mean, your colleague Gideon Falter was on Julia Hartley-Brewer's show yesterday, and he quite rightly classified it as a sort of sub-grade school essay. Now, I guess you could say that the Duke of Sussex, as he's also called, his heart was in the right place, raging against the evils of anti-Semitism, but then he rather drops the ball, to say the least. You know, basically saying, well, you know, you're always going to get attacks on Jews as long as Israel's behaving like that in Gaza, without mentioning Hamas, without mentioning October the 7th, as if Netanyahu sent the troops into Gaza just for the hell of it. So this article ended up, to me, feeling a little bit anti-Semitic. All this whataboutery as well. You know, if you're going to rail against anti-Semitism, don't start going, yeah, well, there's also Islamophobia as well. The Prince... kindly, I could say, has scored an own goal here. Unkindly, I could say, wind your neck in. This is above your intellectual pay grade. You should not have got involved in an issue you do not understand. In fact, let's be honest with you, Stephen, this article made me very angry. Your thoughts?
Well, it wasn't a masterclass in geopolitical analysis, was it? It's fascinating, isn't it, how those who are consumed by progressive and identity politics always fall into the same two traps. Anti-Semitism has one cause and one cause only: anti-Semites. Yet they cannot accept that, and they have to find a reason for it. And that reason today is Israel. Anti-Semitism would exist if Israel did not exist. And this is just, you know, it is pathetic. And it's so vague. It is just so vague, you know, blaming it on what Israel is doing. What is Israel doing? It's doing nothing at the moment because there's been a 7-month ceasefire. But it has been defending itself against a genocidal enemy who is committed to wiping out all Jews in the Middle East and then in the rest of the world, and having carried out the worst atrocity against the Jewish people in a single day since the Holocaust, has promised to try to do it again and again. And in the process of engaging in this war, Israel has managed to achieve a combatant to non-combatant fatality rate that is unprecedentedly low. And experts in urban warfare have all the data that prove this. But no, Prince Harry has been spending too much time on social media. He's bought into the whole Israel is committing genocide slur, and he's gone down that rabbit hole. And the second thing he has done, that the progressive and identity politic warriors keep doing, is they are pathologically incapable of calling out anti-Semitism without mentioning Islamophobia. And I think it is because they are so down the identity politics rabbit hole that they simply can't bear the fact that white people, and obviously Jews in this country are predominantly white, are the victims of people who are non-white. There has to be more to it than that. And so they always make this connection between Israel, bad Jews, and Muslims, good victims. In other words, you know, okay, Jews are the victims here, but so are Muslims, and it's the Jews over there who are the cause of it, really. I mean, it was an appalling intervention by Prince Harry. He should have really kept quiet.
Yeah, I don't think he has the intellectual bandwidth to get involved in such an issue. But Kemi Badenoch pointed out the other day, you know, this whataboutery, as you quite rightly say, when people like Harry, Prince Harry, you know, who is, you know, due to his wife, some kind of Californian progressive pro-Palestine type, they are constitutionally incapable of talking about anti-Semitism without going, what about Islamophobia? When was the last time a Muslim got stabbed in the neck on the streets of London? Are there any Muslim schools that have to have near military security around the kids when they just go to their lessons? No, but Jewish schools have to have that. You know, this whataboutery, you know, if there is an Islamophobia problem in this country, it is nowhere near on the scale of our anti-Semitism crisis.
And I think you kind of see this in the comments that the Prime Minister has made today about the marches at the weekend. He described the United Kingdom march in terms that would have been appropriate every single week for 2.5 years to apply to the pro-Palestine marches, and yet he never did. It's this inability to call out the wrongdoing of those who represent the cause that the left and the progressives and the identity politicians have championed for so long.
I'm glad you brought this up, Stephen. Sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to play you a little section of the video that the Prime Minister has released today, just a couple of hours ago. So let's just play this, and I'll get your thoughts afterwards.
My government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Now, I don't know, Stephen, if you've seen the whole video. I mean, it's an extraordinary intervention by the Prime Minister. A lot of people going to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow saying this is an incitement of violence, this is stirring up tensions. But he goes on about hatred, we will not tolerate hatred. Always talking about the, if you like, the right-wing rally tomorrow in London. Just across town, there's a dueling demo, if you like. There's a equally massive protest by the pro-Palestine mob. It's called Nakba. He doesn't mention that at all. He's talking about hatred at Unite the Kingdom. What about the guaranteed cauldron of hatred there will be at Nakba towards Jews? That will be an explosion of anti-Semitism, as all these pro-Palestine events always are. Prime Minister doesn't even mention that. Outrageous.
Well, I mean, two things. Every single word of that clip that you just played is applicable to every single march that has taken place in our towns and cities since October the 7th, 2023. He will not tolerate. He tolerated it for the 20 months of his premiership so far. And he only has decided that perhaps we shouldn't be tolerating it once it was clear that the problem was actually becoming murderous. And so he made a whole range of commitments and he's fallen at the first hurdle, because this march that you quite rightly say is going to be hateful is going ahead, as though we haven't had enough of these marches already. So yeah, it's absolutely astonishing. And it's as though he doesn't realise that he's in a hole here and he's just continuing to dig himself deeper in. It's astonishing.
Stephen, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time. Stephen Silverman there, Director of Investigations and Enforcement of the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. Prince Harry, he writes against anti-Semitism. Arguably, the article he wrote is anti-Semitic. Idiot. He's just an idiot. The dim Duke. He's got the intellect of an earthworm. Next up, keep your calls coming in, by the way, about Keir Starmer's video. If you're going to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow, give me a call, because Keir Starmer thinks if you're going to that, you're a right-wing, racist, fascist thug. 03444991000. Dean Scoggins from Sun Sport will be in the studio after the break to talk about the upcoming weekend of sport. Apart from everything else in London tomorrow, the two massive rallies, there's the little matter of the FA Cup final. It's going to be London. It's going to be a circus tomorrow. Hopefully a peaceful circus, but it's not guaranteed. We'll talk about football. We'll talk about sport next with Dean Scoggins. Stick around.
the Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
I'm Mark Dolan. Join me every weekend from 6 a.m. for the stories that matter to you. We talk politics, we talk news, we talk entertainment, we talk about everything that affects your life. There's only one place to start your weekend, the home of common sense. Talk Breakfast on Talk. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On YouTube. On your mobile. And on your side. This is Talk.
Dean Scoggins from Sun Sport is in the studio. Well, it's the big game tomorrow. City against Chelsea, FA Cup final. Pep Guardiola joked that there should be a stand at Wembley named after him as he prepares for Manchester City's 4th successive FA Cup final victory. But will it be a victory? I've got a feeling.
Yeah,
City,
you fancy Chelsea to do it?
I sort of do,
Yeah.
only counterintuitively, because when the headlines are always written, so often they're thwarted.
Yeah, and we questioned it today on the desk. I mean, this is Pep's 24th game at the National Stadium since he became manager in 2016. So, I mean, they've basically had a train season ticket to Wembley, the Man City fans, haven't they? It's absolutely ridiculous. But we were questioning on the desk today, and it was, you know, these are the sort of editorial discussions that we have. Have we done enough on Callum McFarlane, the caretaker manager of Chelsea, whose family support Chelsea, who's come from nowhere, was in the, academy systems only last year, has got into the, had one game as caretaker manager against City back in January, and now he's going to be walking out in his suit, alongside Pep Guardiola. What a story it would be if he
wins.
Pep
You will
Guardiola.
be doing a lot on him, won't you?
Absolutely. And look, he's very much had a tracksuit on as his caretaker, but he'll have his suit out tomorrow and be standing there for the national anthem.
Well,
and what an amazing thing to be rubbing shoulders with Pep Guardiola, let alone the opportunity to beat him.
As a Fulham fan, I should be wishing Chelsea all the worst of luck, but I sort of don't. They're the underdogs. You've always got to
I just really hope there's great stuff going on tomorrow. It's gone back to the traditional time of 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a Saturday. There's no other Prem games going on, so a lot of the fans' sort of complaints have been answered. Some of the TV companies are doing it from 9 o'clock in the morning. The coverage like it used to be.
We were kids.
Exactly.
I used to love
you get the interviews in the stands, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. So let's just hope that. Look, I really hope that Chelsea score early, because then it could then turn into a proper game. It's
going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to this extraordinary story, Spygate. Middlesbrough are now officially demanding that Southampton are kicked out of the Championship playoffs over Spygate. Southampton spy caught spying on the Middlesbrough outfit. I mean, this is extraordinary.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And we saw the Southampton fans dressed as trees in the stands, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis his celebration with the binoculars as well. But we can laugh, but at what point does it become a sporting sanction? That's basically the question for the EFL. Spying is not actually listed in the laws and the regulations, but there's a sporting integrity clause, which is what Middlesbrough are going in. And Middlesbrough, they note that the disciplinary commission will meet on Tuesday. They regret that the outcome is taking that long, but they're officially asking for Southampton to be booted out. And Middlesbrough players are still training.
Are we? Yeah, I heard about that. Are we though really talking about somebody this goes on all the time? It's just the difference here is someone got caught.
Well, I think that there's a genuine question around it. I mean, there are now accusations from other EFL clubs that they believe that somebody from Tonder Eckert's team has been spying on them this season as well. I mean, he hasn't answered a single question on it, has stormed out of press conferences as soon as the allegations happened. But, it's pretty unsavoury, isn't it? It's pretty unsavoury. But, I mean, the other thing it was a great story from Gary Stonehouse, and he's led the way on this all the way through, but it was actually a tip-off from a ex-Middlesbrough employee that said, there's no security up there. You can just walk straight into the training ground. And so they took their opportunity and walked straight into the training ground. No fences, no gates, no security.
Middlesbrough's fault then, isn't it?
Well, it is a little bit, isn't it? So, it's a really tricky one, but I think that if Southampton do play in that playoff final, that there'll be quite a few more Hull supporters than there were last week.
Interesting. Right, let's talk about VAR. VAR mistakes are up 35% in the Premier League on last season. I mean, VAR is supposed to be, you know, the perfect, you know, can't make mistakes, but it can't it?
It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, I got absolutely slaughtered on social media after my take on the Arsenal-West Ham decision, because the Arsenal fans, took it as an insult that we were comparing one foul to all the other fouls that have happened in the box. But it's been going on all season. But now they very weirdly come out a week later and go through all the decisions and then release the sort of key match incidents panel. And so it's taken this season's total to 23 mistakes, and 2 of the last 3 have gone against West Ham as well, not including the Arsenal one, I hasten to add, but it was the penalty decisions at Brentford that they didn't get. And then also, rather interestingly, the panel have said the Everton should have had a penalty in the 3-3 draw against Man City when Bernardo Silva held back Merlin Roll. So that now could have an impact on the title race as well. Can we please just go back to referees making decisions?
Why not? You know, I mean, the idea of VAR, it's infallible. Well, it's not. And once you have this technological system that is fallible, you might as well go back to human error.
Absolutely. Keep the offsides, keep whether the ball's gone in and out of play, and keep a second look for yellow cards, whether they're red cards for the stamps. Other than that, let the ref do his job.
Absolutely. Dean Scoggitt's there. Great weekend of sport. All in the Sun tomorrow. Next up, it's Carl Turner, the renegade Labour MP.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. In a little while, we're going to talk about the Eurovision song contest, and Britain's, or the UK's entry is a guy called Look Mum No Computer. I don't think that's his birth name. I think he's changed it. But a lot of people are saying that he might as well change his name now to Look Mum No Points, Look Mum No Chance. Look, Mum, no talent, for God's sake. Why is our song so terrible this year? I think it's doomed, guaranteed to come last. We'll talk to a former contestant about Look, Mum, No Computer. If nothing else, he's singing in German. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Anyway, we'll talk to a former contestant about Look, Mum, No Computer in a little while. Let's talk on a far more sensible issue now, to a far more sensible man. He is former Labour MP, now Independent MP, Carl Turner. Hello, Carl.
Good evening, Kevin. Nice to be with you.
Good to have you on the show. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, about 3 hours ago, released a video which is catching a lot of flack. It's a condemnation of the far-right thugs, racists that he talks about, who he says will characterise the Unite the Kingdom rally in London tomorrow. A lot of people saying it's an incitement of violence by the Prime Minister. Let's have a look at the video and I'll get your thoughts on it afterwards.
Tomorrow's march in London is a reminder of what we're up against in the battle of our values. The organisers, including convicted thugs and racists, are peddling hatred and division. Plain and simple. Their goal is to convince people that Britain's problems are caused by those living alongside them. But that is not the Britain that I know. This is a country built on decency, fairness and respect. A country that is at its best when people from different backgrounds come together in common purpose. This is our country, with a majority who share those values, a majority who may not always be as loud, but must always define who we are. So, my government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us. And I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Thing is, Carl, you know, he didn't have to release this video. And London tomorrow, you will be well aware, is going to be a tinderbox. There's two dueling demonstrations. One is Unite the Kingdom, which you shouldn't mischaracterise as just a Tommy Robinson event. Tommy Robinson will be there, his supporters will be there, but as was proved when they had one of these rallies in the summer, there were tens and tens of thousands of people who had nothing to do with Tommy Robinson. They're what you might call patriots who are sick of some of Labour's policies, should we say. So he didn't have to make this speech. He's characterised everyone going there as a sort of convicted thug or a racist. And a lot of my audience, my switchboard's been on fire all afternoon. People sending in texts, voice notes, calling up, saying, this, you know, I'm going to this rally. I don't even know anything about Tommy Robinson. I'm going there because I'm a patriot. I want to wave my flag. And the Prime Minister's just called me a racist and a thug. And this is an incitement to violence. It's almost as if the Prime Minister wants a fight so he can look like a tough leader afterwards and start cracking the whip and sending people to prison like he did after the Southport riots. What's your thoughts on this video? He didn't have to put this out. Why has he done it, do you think, Carl?
Well, I think whoever's advised him to do the video, it's bad advice. It's still advised. It's going to encourage more people to go along, and it winds those that are going up to the point where they will potentially kick off. That's my view of it. I mean, if the Prime Minister of the country is expressing an opinion about thousands of people who are going along to what they consider a protest, then he's encouraging them to react, isn't he? That's what I would see it as. It's disappointing, if you ask me. I think he ought to have kept stum, frankly, because anything that the PM says, people have a tendency to do the opposite. Look, I used to be a fan of ID cards, right? A lot of my constituents used to be a fan of the idea of ID cards. As soon as Keir Starmer said it was a good idea, everybody thought there was a terrible idea.
He's a,
You know, the best
he's a
thing-
reverse barometer, isn't he?
No, genuinely, the best thing he can do is just keep his powder dry. You know, get in the car, take the family away to Chequers for the weekend, chill out. You've got Andy Burnham coming into the contest now. You ought never to have blocked Andy Burnham. You know, the NEC have had to, you know, bow down now to the fact that Labour Party members want Burnham in the contest. Go to Chequers. Have a good weekend. You know, I don't wish him any ill will. I hope he's all right. You know, he's got a family. I feel for his missus and his kids. But, I mean, he's caused a terrible mess in the party. That didn't need to be caused. Most unpopular Prime Minister, even more unpopular than Liz Truss, for crying out loud. How on earth can that have come to be in such a short period of time?
Well, I'll tell you why I think, Carl. It's because he has this tendency to look at something like the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow. You know, people who you might describe as right-wing, right of centre. He has this tendency to characterise anyone with right-wing opinions as a far-right fascist thug, racist thug. And people don't like that. And one more point on the rallies tomorrow. In this video that the Prime Minister made and released a few hours back, you know, he rages on about the hatred, we will not tolerate this, and as I say, coming across like he fancies there being a fight so he can look tough afterwards. But he doesn't mention the other big demonstration in London tomorrow, which, let me tell you, will be a serious cauldron of hatred towards Jewish people and Israel. That's the Nakba rally, the pro-Palestine march that's going to happen in another part of London. He doesn't mention that at all. So I'm afraid he is fueling the flames of that nickname he's got, two-tier Keir. If you're right-wing, he's going to be down on you like a ton of bricks. If you're left-wing, he'll give you a free pass.
I'm not sure everybody on this rally tomorrow, this protest, or whatever you want to describe it, is right-wing particularly. Somebody who I know is a painter and decorator, a pal of mine, who's does jobs for me, and I've known him for years. He texted me today, said, I'm going tomorrow, what do you think? I said, look, you know, there's going to be people there who are not the type of characters you want to be among. They're going to be unsavoury people as well. That's what these things tend to attract. But my pal Mike, there's no way he's a right-wing thug. He's a guy who's absolutely cheesed off with government, whether it's this Labour government or the previous Tory government. That's who he is. Let down by politics, let down by politicians. What we ought to be doing as a government is embracing people who feel like they've been let down. Working class people who get up in the morning, get on the bikes, go to the factory, work hard, and at the end of the month have got very little to show for it. That's not right-wing thuggery. That's people who are let down by our governments. Not just the Labour government, frankly. We've only been in 2 years. The previous Tory government as well. And in fact, to an extent, not entirely, because I thought the previous Labour government between 97 and 2010 did some good stuff. We made mistakes, but we did some good stuff. But even that Labour government let the working class down. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
That's my view.
You're so right, Carl. It is wrong to characterise people who go to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow as far right or even right wing. Many people will go, you'll see a massive Union Jacks, will just consider themselves as patriots, who frankly want something to be done about the migrant crisis. They don't want to get closer to Europe, and they're not too keen on net zero either. That's what that is all about. But let's move on, talking about the working class. Well, Andy Burnham has now got the go-ahead from the NEC, so he will be Labour's official candidate at the Makerfield by-election, where there are a lot of working class solid northerners. The message we're getting from that fine constituency, which by the way roundly voted for Reform UK in the local elections, is that Andy Burnham is going to have a hell of a battle to try to win that seat. If he goes up to Makerfield and he says, right, you know, I'm here representing Labour, let me tell you, we're going to put your energy bills up because of Ed Miliband's nut zero policies. We're going to let more and more migrants in, and the best thing, you're going to love this, people of Makerfield, we're going to get closer and closer to Brussels and the EU. Good luck trying to sell that to the Brexiteers of Makerfield. Don't you think he's in trouble there, Carl?
I think he's up against it, to be honest with you. But if Andy Burnham can't win that seat, there's no Labour candidate in the Labour Party who's capable of winning it, let's be honest. He's the best candidate we've got for that particular seat. I think I'm right in saying that 2 of the electoral wards in Makerfield are previously Lee wards, which is the seat Andy Burnham held as the MP. So I think if he can't win it, nobody can. I think Andy Burnham is unusual as far as politicians go. He's actually popular, whereas most of us are unpopular, frankly. And, you know, the other advantage, of course, that he's got is he's not been in government for the last 2 years. So he's not associated with the shenanigans that has been brought about in the last 12 months, at least, by Keir Starmer's terrible leadership of the party.
Do you know what's hilarious about this very important by-election in Makerfield? Is it will be fought by 2 candidates. It's only going to be basically Labour against Reform UK. We don't know who Reform UK are putting up as their candidate yet. But if they've got any sense, it will be someone local. They won't impose, like they did at Gorton and Denton, some kind of southern professor academic type on them. They'll come up, if they've got any sense, it'll be someone local. But both candidates will be fighting on the same ticket, running on the same, campaigning on the same ticket. Get rid of Starmer.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's the irony. The last local elections by Reform was fought on the basis of getting rid of Keir Starmer, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want Starmer to stand down initially, because I didn't want to be seen to be dancing to the tune of Nigel Farage. That's the truth of where I was coming from. But the reality is that election spoke to the fact that Keir Starmer has not only lost his authority with the parliamentary Labour Party, and sadly, when you've got a situation where 100 members of Parliament are saying, right, we want you to get out of there, and then you've got 100 members of Parliament who say, we want you to stay in. But a lot of those names, I'm told, didn't know their names was going on the list. And then you've got 200 MPs who are pleading the Fifth Amendment. The truth is this. He ain't got any authority left in the Parliamentary Labour Party. He's truly, truly lost all the ability to run the party and, frankly, run the government. So my view is he needs to get out of the way now. I think if he's still a leader, and I think he will be, when we go into that election, whenever it might be, I suspect it's sooner than we might have wanted, frankly, because I think the whips will move the writ fairly swiftly in order to get the campaign underway. I think they might have a reason, and the reason might not be a good one. It might be that we don't want to win this particularly, because we are in a situation whereby the Labour Party, led by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, is actually looking at a scenario whereby the candidate who is being chosen is saying publicly, to an extent, but definitely privately, I want to be the Member of Parliament because I want to save the Labour Party from inevitable extinction by leading it to government after the next general election. That's his offer. And now I think that will play to his advantage to a degree, but it also smacks a little bit of arrogant, and I don't know which way it's going to go.
Talking of arrogance, Carl, this is what the people, I've been speaking to a lot of people at Makerfield, they've been ringing in. This is what they hate. They really hate this. This isn't about left, right, Labour, reform. It's about being taken for granted. They do not like being treated like a chess piece in Andy Burnham's game, expected to vote for him so he can waltz into Westminster and then take over from Starmer. You know, being taken for granted is not going down well there, and Andy Burnham is coming across like a kind of entitled man who believes it's his right to be voted for, to basically instruct the people of Makerfield, oh, you've got to vote for me because I have to get to Westminster. That's going to play badly against him, I think.
Well, that's not going to be his offer.
No, I know that, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's how it smacks a bit. But look, Andy Burnham would have wanted a seat in Greater Manchester region where he's the mayor. It's been successful as the mayor, to be honest. There's not been much. I mean, you can say a couple of things where there's been a bit of controversy around policy, the policing stuff was a bit of an hiccup at points. But actually,
he hasn't done badly, I agree. He hasn't done badly.
Relatively well as a regional mayor. And, he's got that at least to say, look, I can deliver for you. I'm going to go back to Westminster. I'm going to change the politics of Westminster. In fact, what I'm going to do is the stuff that Keir Starmer promised in the last general election. I mean, some argue that we delivered. The manifesto had a picture of Keir Starmer on the front with a word change. And to be honest with you, promised made and promise kept. We changed Keir Starmer by the looks of stuff.
Yeah, and he did change the country, change it for the worse. So he has kept his promise. You're right about that. Yeah.
But I mean, he's gone. But he's probably gone. I mean, he's not gone yet. But I suspect what Keir's thinking is we get Burnham in. Hopefully, I mean, I suspect the Prime Minister wants us to win a by-election. For goodness' sake, get him in. Use Andy Burnham's ability in government, I would expect, and try to persuade the Parliamentary Labour Party to calm down so Keir Starmer can stay a bit longer. But the problem Keir Starmer's got, and the problem his advisors have got, is the country, unfortunately, has already decided. They don't want Keir Starmer. And the longer we keep Keir Starmer, the less likely it is for anybody who's left the Labour Party for another political choice is ever going to come back to us. They don't trust Keir. I don't know why. I know the guy.
Well,
he's hard-working. He's an hard-working public servant.
Well, you could come up with a lot of reasons why people have come to not trust Keir Starmer. I want to ask you a last question, Carl. In this sort of political Game of Thrones that's going on at the moment, who knows what might happen? I mean, the future Prime Ministers, as you say, Starmer might survive. Could be Ed Miliband, could be Andy Burnham. And one of the players is Angela Rayner, who, even if she doesn't become Prime Minister, she's certainly got her eye on a senior Cabinet Secretary role, probably one of the great officers of state, I would imagine. Now, I would suggest this. If she thinks she can go back into the Cabinet, that somebody will pluck her back from the back benches and put her on the front benches, just saying, as she did yesterday, it's okay, HMRC have cleared me, that's not going to be enough, because people are asking questions about this. Yes, it looks as if she's settled her £40,000 stamp duty debt. That's cool. HMRC have got no track record of just allowing people to pay their debt and not be fined. Which is all... Basically, the headline on this, Carl, is I think that if Angela Rayner is to get back to high office, be it Cabinet Secretary or Prime Minister, she's going to have to publish HMRC's verdict on her. Don't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, my view of Angie Rayner, because I know better than you, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course you do.
I was a whip when we were in opposition, and Angie Rayner was one of the members who I was most impressed by, actually. She's incredibly hardworking. She's one of the few ministers, shadow ministers at the time, who was really, truly on top of her brief. She was doing more than one job when she was shadow education. We had the shenanigans with Corbyn, which meant, because people were resigning, some shadow ministers was ending up with 2 and 3 and 4 briefs. I think Rayner at one point was looking after half a dozen briefs. If you speak to other people who would give you an objective opinion of Angie Rayner, they would say she was very, very impressive as a minister in government as well. The reason Angie Rayner fell out with Keir Starmer is because she told him that she didn't like things. She didn't like certain ideas. She wanted to stand up for stuff that she was heading up as a policies. And he didn't like the fact that he was challenged. And that's why she was leaked and briefed against. Now, you can say HMRC had a right to have the 40 grand. Of course they did.
Yeah.
But you've also got to accept that the trust was a complex trust. It was in the name of a lad. It was a court protection trust set up by the court. She had a 25% interest, which she relinquished in order to buy the flat in Brighton. I think the absolute the absolute scandal of all of this is why a flat's 800,000 quid in Brighton. You could buy a street of terraced houses in my
I'll
patch
tell you
for
what it
about
is. What she specifically wanted a flat with a view of the English Channel, so she could see all the migrants coming across. I think that's what it was.
I've been in the flat. You'd have to stick your head out the window and look round the corner to see the sea. But it's a nice flat.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
It's a two-bedroom gaff. I'm not joking. If you bought that place in a nice part of East Hull, you'd be looking at 100 grand if you was really stretching.
Well, I hope she enjoys that place, because she certainly paid a price for it in more ways than one. Listen, Carl, it's excellent to talk to you. Come on again soon. That's a brilliant Carl Turner, former Labour MP, now independent Labour MP, and as you can see, very independent-minded too. Next up, with a very big change of pace, change of tone, we're going to talk about the Eurovision Song Contest, which, if you didn't already know, is tomorrow night in Austria. There have been questions asked about the UK's contestant, who glories in the name of Look Mum No Computer. But will it be a case of Look Mum No Points? We'll talk about that next. Stay tuned.
On the home of
the Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
I'm Mark Dolan. Join me every weekend from 6 a.m. for the stories that matter to you. We talk politics, we talk news, we talk entertainment, we talk about everything that affects your life. There's only one place to start your...
Across the UK. on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. I'm going to take your calls in just a little while. I've got lots of messages, text messages, and probably got some voice notes as well. Loads of calls, but you've still time to get involved. 0344 499 1000. The big topic, the big issue is Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, who has issued this extraordinary video, which a lot of people are saying is an incitement to violence. He's talking about the far-right racist thugs who are going to populate this Unite the Kingdom rally in London tomorrow. He didn't have to do this video. He's told, we will not tolerate hatred. I think he's doing this because he wants to look like a leader. He wants to get people arrested. They're going to use facial recognition technology to get faces, to put people in the dock so he can look tough like he did after the Southport riots. He seems to think that was his finest hour. Got bad news for you, Keir. It really wasn't. I think he wants to recreate the magic of that. Unbelievable. So he can look prime ministerial and leaderish, so that he can carry on being the worst Prime Minister, the least popular Prime Minister we've ever had. 0344 499 1000. That in a minute, but let's talk about Eurovision. It's tomorrow night. The final is in Austria. All the nations will fancy their chances of winning, but I don't think our chances are very good at all. We have a guy called Look Mum No Computer, and he's got a song called what's it called, Ice Vice. It's a German song, and people are saying it's the worst song that Britain has ever entered into the Eurovision Song Contest. Now we're going to talk now to someone who knows all about Eurovision, because she was in it in 2014. Her song Children of the Universe came a very respectable 17th, and it was written by my next guest, Molly, and she sings under the name of Molly. Molly, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Have you heard Look Mum No Computer's song? We're not allowed by broadcasting rules to play the song, but that might be an advantage. I've heard it. I mean, it just, okay, it's funny and all that, but it doesn't stand a chance. I think it's going to be doomed to come last. And what depresses me about this, Molly, and let me know what you think, is it's like we've thrown in the towel. We don't care anymore. We know we're not going to win, so we might as well enter rubbish. It's ridiculous. What do you think of Look Mum No Computer's song?
I don't think that you're right about us throwing in the towel and entering
okay.
that, but I think it's not my cup of tea, but that doesn't really matter much. Do you know what? Let's think about some of the songs that have won Eurovision. Anything can happen, and that's the crazy thing about it. You really don't know, but we'll see. Well,
when you were in it, 2014, wasn't it? The winner was, of course, the legendary Conchita Wurst. The lady with the beard, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying obviously that people are going for. We're just looking at. Look Mum No Computer now. I mean, it's a bizarre video, to say the least. And his performance in the semi-finals was quite bizarre.
I've not seen that.
What would you rate, as someone who knows about this thing, what would you rate as his chances, of winning?
I mean, I don't think the UK, we don't fare well usually anyway. So you do need something that's pretty much, you can tell if something's popular beforehand now. See, Sam Ryder did really well. We knew that he was popular before he went over that, and he smashed it. So I doubt he's going to do very well, but as long as he enjoys himself, and I'm sure he'll get something out of it. I'm sure he's got some new fans and stuff.
I'm just looking at it. We're not allowed to play the music, but I'm looking at his performance. It's unusual, let's put it this way. What's it like?
They might love it. You know, people might think it's brilliant, and that's what's crazy about that show.
There doesn't seem to be the overwhelming impressions so far. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Eurovision, but fans, friends of mine who are big fans, are dismayed by this song. And most of them say it's our worst ever entry, and that we don't.
Yeah, I think.
Go on. Sorry.
The Eurovision community do appreciate good music going into the competition to represent, and there's a lot of, like, as much as there's lots of silliness and stuff, there's some serious songwriters that enter every single year and do very, very well. So it's always nice if your country enters something that you're proud of.
What's it? So the song is called Eins, Zwei, Drei. So you got what you basically got is a guy who can't sing singing a really bad song in German for Britain. Kind of weird.
It is weird, but I'm wondering if that was tactical. Maybe they were like, well, we've had some, but it's something different, right? Isn't it? I mean, they've just got.
We might get the German vote, right?
We'll have to see. We'll know in about, well, I was going to say 24 hours, 48 hours, I think.
We certainly will. And what's it like being in the Eurovision Song Contest? It must be an extraordinary experience.
Yeah, there's definitely not much else like it, I'd say. I wouldn't know where to start. You'd need to give me an hour to talk about.
But when you went onto stage, though, to sing your song, if I was you, and I went onto the stage, I'd be thinking, oh my God, there's 80 million people watching me now.
Yeah, it's the most terrifying thing. I remember telling my friends, or speaking to friends about it, feeling like the Hunger Games, because what you have to do is you have your in-ear monitors in, and you get a countdown as well, which, let's face it, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you get a countdown, your anxiety levels go, it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And all you're thinking is, please don't mess up. Please. Yeah. In my track, you just want to get to the end knowing that you've not really made a fool of yourself, or you've fallen over, or well,
you didn't. I remember your performance. So since then, how's your career gone? What have you been up to?
Well, I'd say career-wise, musically, not much happened. I've done stuff I'm proud of, but I haven't had much in the way of commercial success since then. But I have made lots of music that I'm proud of, for what that's worth.
That's worth a lot, Molly, and congratulations on your participation. And I suppose, I am going to wish Look Mum No Computer all the best for tomorrow night, and we do kind of hope it won't be Look Mum No Points, but I fear it might be. Molly, thanks for coming on. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. That's Molly, our contestant for Eurovision in 2014. We're going to go to break now. We're going to take calls all the way to the end of the show. 03444 499 1000. The topic on the table is Keir Starmer and his extraordinary video, which looks to me like all the world, like a incitement to violence tomorrow. Does this guy want to fight so he can look tough afterwards? Getting people arrested, putting them in court, sending them to jail. Is he inciting violence? I wonder what Lucy Connolly thinks about this, the poor lady who was sent to jail for 2 years and 7 months for inciting violence because she posted some hurty words on Facebook after the Southport riots. I wonder what she thinks about this. So anyway, your calls for the rest of the show. Stick around, back in a mo.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Here's a voice note. This is Russ on Keir Starmer.
The Starmer video, yeah, well, what do you expect? This is his punishment to the British for voting him out. Is that pathetic? He's stamping his feet now. And also, he has declared war on the British. If you are going to a demonstration, you've already proved that it's peaceful, and he turns around and like everyone else is saying, you know, he's inciting violence. He's just declared war on the British people, and this is punishment for the vote. That's what he's like.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to prove that he's a really tough, powerful, strong leader, you know, in times of strife. And he's utilising this demonstration tomorrow to try to save his own sorry backside. That is just irresponsible, to be honest with you. And it's also really, really pathetic. This is Catherine. This is a text. How dare Starmer put out such a video? My blood boils. We are hard-working business owners. We pay all our taxes, trying to keep our heads above water and support reform and want our country back. How dare he say those things and group everyone into that camp? He needs to look at those idiots protesting for Palestine. The lefties are vile and confrontational. If he's going to put that out, it should be for all. Well said, Catherine. Let's go to Claire. She's a new caller from Wiltshire. Hello, Claire. What would you like to say?
Oh, hello there. Well, I'd like to say that Keir Starmer is a rather silly little man, because what he seems to be doing is trying to emulate the Biden regime over in America, when we had the insurgency on January the 6th, when the crowd was full of paid agitaprops, probably from Antifa and elsewhere. There was even some of the FBI there, causing genuine patriots, people that wanted to go in and support the democratic process, to go into the Capitol after they were arrested months later, thrown in without jurisprudence being allowed, and basically gave the talking points for the new Nazi regime of Trump.
Well, I think, though, that Keir Starmer, a lot of people are saying that he wants a fight tomorrow. He wants it to all kick off, so then he can send in his jackboot cops to arrest everybody, stick them in court, and send them to jail for disproportionately long sentences, just like he did after the Southport riots, because he thinks that will make him look tough, strong, prime ministerial. He seems to think that because he did that after the Southport riots, he seems to think that was his finest hour. It was one of his low points, if you ask me. That's why he's done this, I suspect, and that is that's pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic.
It's beyond pathetic, and it will, of course, fail. But I think the keynote we're missing here is with the facial recognition cameras in, he can spin this out until his backside's kicked out.
That's a really good point, Claire. That's what I worry. Facial recognition cameras will only be used on tomorrow's right-wing demonstration, if you can call it that. But the pro-Palestine Nakba protest, no facial recognition cameras there. That's two-tier policing in all is lack of glory, instigated by two-tier Keir. God almighty. Claire, that was your first call. Please do not make it your last. Very good to talk to you. Thank you. Claire in Wiltshire. Let's go to Michael in Hertfordshire. Hi, Michael.
Good evening. Good evening. I think you got things 100% right. The Palestinian marches are just unbelievable. They harass people, they block shops, they ruin businesses. Members have attacked planes and damaged English aircrafts, damaged factories, and Starmer, like everything he's done, has talked absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
And they've just got it completely wrong again.
You know, this Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow, hundreds of thousands of people are likely to attend. Meanwhile, not far away, thousands and thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, will also attend the Nakba pro-Palestine rally. Now, Keir Starmer didn't even mention that. He said, we won't tolerate hatred. There'll be a lot of hatred at the Nakba event because there'll be loads of hatred for Jews and for Israel, like there always is. There will be illegal chants. Doesn't even mention that. And then characterises essentially everyone who goes to the Unite the Kingdom rally as a far-right racist thug. That is not true. There will be thousands, hundreds of thousands of normal, law-abiding citizens, decent people who are just sick and tired of Labour's policies. They want their country back.
100% correct.
Michael, great to talk to you. Have a lovely weekend. Call me again. Michael in Hertfordshire. We're motoring here. Let's get another call in. This is Darren from Staffordshire. Hello, Darren.
Evening, how are you? You all right?
I'm okay. Starmer, what is your feeling about his video?
I'm absolutely fuming. I am a decent member of the public. I'm not long retired from one of the emergency services. I'm going down tomorrow for a peaceful protest for what a joke this country has come. Starmer is a traitor. He's a waste of space. And I'm 53 years of age. I've never known a Prime Minister so unpopular. How dare he call me far right? I'm going down for a peaceful protest tomorrow. I'm far from it. It's disgraceful. A normal member of the public, just sick of seeing what's happening in this country. He's a laughing stock on the international stage. He's a laughing stock in this country, and we need to get rid as soon as possible.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is that this entire event tomorrow is a Tommy Robinson affair. Well, look, the thing I'd say about Tommy Robinson, he's got every right to protest along with everyone else, and so have his supporters. Good luck to them, and good luck to Tommy Robinson for calling for everybody to be peaceful. He doesn't want any fighting. He said, don't give them what they want. But what I would suggest here, what I think we should stress is this is not just a Tommy Robinson event, is it?
Most of the vile hatred will be coming from the pro-Palestine protests, and absolutely nothing's been mentioned about that. Yeah. Nothing gets done about it. Nothing gets done about the vile chants they do. Yet you try to pick on an easy target, saying that people go down a far right. Well, we're not a far right, Keir Starmer. We're normal members of the public, and we want you and your government out as soon as possible.
Well said, Darren, and you're quite right. The real hatred will not be at the Unite the Kingdom rally. It will be at the Nakba pro-Palestine event. Darren from Staffordshire, who will be at the event tomorrow. Enjoy yourself there, Darren. Hope it all goes well. Let's go to break. More calls, more voice notes when we come back.
weekend.
The Talk app. You can watch, catch up and listen to all your favourite shows and podcasts anytime, anywhere, all on the Talk app. Watching and listening to Talk just got easier. There's now only one place for the home of common sense. So head over to your App Store or Google Play and search Talk now.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Welcome back. Go back to the phones in a minute. Here's a voice note first, though. This is from Deborah on our friend Keir Starmer.
Hi, Kevin. Listening to you and getting so wound up. It's Deborah here. I'm in northwest London, in Golders Green, where we've faced terror attack after a terror attack in the last few weeks. Keir Starmer is out of order. How dare he say that they're not allowing people to come into this country when he allowed the Egyptian radical terrorists welcome him in. I think he put out a tweet about welcoming him in with open arms. When it suits him, then he'll allow real terrorists in, and he blocks people who, don't align with his lefty socialist values. This country's done. We need radical change.
Couldn't agree with you more, Deborah. If you're from my part of the world, very good voice note there. Let's play another one. This is Aidan on Starmer.
I mean, we know he's a liar. Let's be honest about it. We all saw it in the Parliament. He routinely lies. That's his style. He's had the opportunity to crack down on hatred and violence every weekend with these Palestine protests, but he doesn't do it because he's a coward as well.
Well said, Aidan. Yeah, he is a liar. We know that. Tony Parker sent me a text. He said, this is Keir Starmer. I'll always champion peaceful protests unless I don't like what they're protesting about. It's true. Far-right extremists is the new buzz term. Yeah, far-right extremists. Yeah, exactly. He's characterising everyone who's going to go to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow as a far-right racist thug. He just doesn't get it, does he? He's so out of touch. It's painful. It really is. Let's talk to Kenny in Hertfordshire. Hello, Herefordshire. Sorry. Hi, Kenny.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you, yeah.
Right, okay. With regards to Keir Starmer, he's King's Counsel.
Yeah.
He is not a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is a barrister. So he goes by what he believes in. Now, I'm not condoning that, right, because that is not the way to go.
But what does he believe in? Do educate us, because nobody knows what the hell he believes in, if anything.
No, and this is where I was coming from, right? What he does, it's like he's on a magnetic field. Yeah, he goes from this to that, to that, to that, because it suits his agenda.
Oh yeah, of course.
And if he was representing you or me or anybody else that was nefarious, which is probably the word of the night,
yeah,
you'd want that person to put 100%. I cannot believe that, was it 24%? For Labour to win the election,
yeah,
the turnout was 24%.
Yeah.
To vote for a barrister that was.
Yeah, but you look, Kenny. I'll tell you something. You don't want to go down that road of saying, "Hey, he's a lawyer. What's he doing in politics?" You go down the House of Commons, about 75% of them are windbag lawyers.
But they are not representing us.
Well, yeah, no, that much we know, but loads of them are lawyers. Way too many politicians are barristers.
I've got several qualifications, quite high level, but I do not represent them people.
Well, yeah, exactly. But, I mean, you know, Keir Starmer is just one lawyer out of many, many. There's way too many lawyers. So one of the problems with Westminster, one of the problems with the House of Commons is it's full of windbag barristers who love the sound of their own voice. Kenny, good point, though. Thank you for a good call. That's Kenny in Herefordshire. Let's talk to John in Cornwall. Hi, John.
Hi, Kev. Hey, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Politics at the moment is the best comedy on the box.
Except for the sick joke is on the nation.
Well, the point is, Andy Burnham, right? The point is, Manchester saved his political career, but now Andy Burnham, out of the goodness of his heart, is going to dump Manchester for Downing Street. And there's other points that...
Do you reckon he's going to make it? Do you reckon he's going to make it?
Well, I don't think he will, but I think Keir Starmer's already got a plan in place. And that is, in 2 to 3 weeks' time, rather than be booted out, Keir Starmer will call a general election. He can do that.
Please tell me that's true. Please tell me he'll do that.
Yeah, he
won't do it, though.
Then as King of the Hill.
Well, they say, you know, if he gets particularly childish about all this and petulant, he could press the nuclear button. But I think he'll have to get the support of his party, of his MPs, of his cabinet, and they won't let him press that button because they'll lose the election. They know that. So I don't think that's going to happen.
But has he ever been interested in what other people think?
Yeah. But I don't think he's not really empowered to stand up there on his own when his party, when his MPs, when his cabinet secretaries and ministers don't want one. He can't stand up there and say, "I am calling a general election."
Yeah, well, I'll wait and see what he says on the box tomorrow at these rallies.
Well, he'll probably keep his head down tomorrow, but if there's any fights, if there's any trouble, he'll be crowing away next week about we're going to throw the full force of the law at these people. They will be punished. They will go to jail. And he thinks that's impressive. Trouble is, it's not. John, good call. Have a great weekend. Thank you for ringing. Last voice note. This is Damon on Andy Burnham.
I live literally 5 minutes away from where Peter Burns lived in Orwell. And I can tell you this, if Andy Burnham come to Pemberton and Wigan, we would chase him out with lighty torches. I don't know about pitchforks. The guy's a walking disaster area. And he doesn't deserve to win in Makerfield because he's just taking people for granted. You will do as I say and you will vote me in, otherwise I'll make it rough for you. The guy's a plank. He's done nothing for Manchester. Crime, homelessness, drugs is completely off the charts and he is a complete waste of time. And if he gets anywhere near power in Downing Street, then basically stop the world because I want to get off. But Pete is absolutely right.
That's interesting, Damon. I think that's the prevailing view in Makerfield. They don't want to know Andy Burnham. Let's quickly just talk to our last phone call. This is a regular caller, Karen in Bournemouth. What's your take on Keir Starmer, Karen?
Oh, the pretty little Islamist, you mean? Well, I think what he's actually gone and done is he said to the country, you whiteys are thugs, you neckbars, you do what you like, because we don't mind.
He's characterising everyone who wants to go or will go to the Unite the Kingdom rally tomorrow as a far-right racist thug. It's what he does. If he encounters anyone with a right-of-centre worldview, as far as Keir Starmer is concerned, they're a Nazi, they're a racist, they're a fascist, they're a thug. It's just ridiculous. He's so out of touch, Karen. As I say, it's painful. It really is. And he's miscalculated. He's misfired yet again. That video was bordering on irresponsible and a real signal of his utter desperation to try and look like a powerful, strong leader, which he never, ever will be. Karen, gotta go. Have a great weekend. Thank you for ringing. Karen in Bournemouth. Peter Cardwell is in the studio. This is a misfire, this video, isn't it?
Hugely. I mean, is everybody who goes on the pro-Palestinian march this weekend a